Joining me now is Paul Mauro. He's inspector for the New York City, former head of intelligence operations for the NYPD. He's also an attorney. Paul, you hear those words. Those are on American college campuses. The part we didn't get to in talking with Cameron and Jim on assessing the threat here in the United States is how everyone talks about a credible threat. Well, someone who is stating their intentions to you, I would think, would satisfy the requirement of a threat being credible.
So this is the dynamic that's changed here, Will. Previously, Hamas was not considered a domestic threat here in the country. Their charter is pretty much limited to taking the land back from Israel, period, end of story. What they're looking to do now is to become a force multiplier by lashing on themselves to forces here in the United States and globally. They're trying to enlarge their footprint to get support. Unfortunately, history has shown us, recent history, that they have a soft target here academically, in the academic world. And that's why you're seeing this stuff being played out on campuses. They're creating a lot of buzz on the in academia because they've done this very clever thing. Anti-Israel forces have lashed themselves up with what I call the 1619 wing of the Democratic Party. And they've made common cause and positioned themselves as the oppressed, and they've lashed onto that narrative, and that just makes them a lot bigger player globally. That's why they're calling it. Hamas doesn't normally do this kind of thing, global jihad. So what does it mean? Look, we want to stress no credible threats, as you said. My old shop, NYPD Intel, is in the best position of anybody to put a finger on that, and they put out a statement. They're looking at all their sources. They're looking online. They're doing all the things that they do. So far, no credible threat. But what I fear is as the images start to come out, okay, now we know the Israelis have done what? They've cut the water, the power, the internet. They've locked down the food supplies, and they're going in. It's going to be bloody. It's going to be ugly. Hamas wants those images. There's a reason Hamas just stood up an app. They want to take the ISIS route. They want to win the propaganda war. I'm not going to say where the stuff is. They're already putting out videos that look like very slick ISIS videos. Those are recruitment videos. And they're looking to get that globally, make them a bigger player. That's the risk for American law enforcement. Yeah, the border, all the other things we've seen in the past. And the border is a new vector in this thing. I'm not downplaying that. Just the number of Venezuelans coming in. You know that the former vice president of Venezuela has a Hezbollah footprint? He's the former vice president. You know what he's looked at for by the American government? Giving false passports to, wait for it, Hamas and Hezbollah.
You know, there's a lot of reasons why that Hamas and Islamist organizations have made their way into academia, not without the fact that the Soviet Union backed Arab states against the Israeli state for many years, so it's part and parcel with the far left and the communist movement. And it's evidenced by what we all saw earlier this week with BLM, Chicago's chapter, putting out full-throated support for Hamas. Not Palestine. They put a paraglider on the image. So full-throated support for Hamas. The question is whether or not there's a credible threat is have they been successful in inspiring, and by the looks of these images in the United States, you would think they've inspired at least hatred, hopefully not more in terms of action.
The hatred is there, undeniably. And as I said, when we start to see the propaganda war going full-throated, and we're gonna, period, end of story, you're going to start to see the anger really start to peak. And what that becomes, when they start to see those images, is the justification. And that, listen, I brought a ton of these cases. I know the dynamic. You're going to get people in many instances who are leading slipping down lives. We used to call it loser to lion, all right? Somebody who doesn't have a lot to lose, protesting, they're not feeling gratified enough, and they decide, as the term is, kinetic. They decide to go kinetic. It's very, very tough to interdict. Understand what we're talking about here. This is not normal law enforcement where you're coming in after the fact to figure out, where, you know, here's the body, who did the killing. This is prophylactic. You're ahead of the game. You're trying to prevent it. In a free society with a First Amendment, that's a very gray area. It has to be heavily lawyered. You have to move very cautiously. It's very difficult, and that's why it's not a zero-sum game. You're not going to get them all.
And I know you've laid this out. You have a new piece in the Wall Street Journal. People should check that out, where you lay out these threats to the homeland. Paul,
I do. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.